first century, Ephesus was the most prominent city in the Roman province of Asia. This was the western part of the peninsula of what was later called Asia Minor. This geographical area is now part of modern-day Turkey. Ephesus was on the mouth of the Cayster River as it flowed into the Aegean Sea, so it became an important export centre for Asia because it was a gateway between eastern and western trade routes. When you arrived at the port, there was an impressive avenue which was 35 feet wide and lined with columns which would take you into the city. Ephesus became part of the Roman Empire in 133 BC, and by the time of the early church, it had grown to a city of nearly 250,000 people. It put it on a par with other cities across the empire like Alexandria, Carthage and Antioch. Rome itself probably had 1 million people at its peak. Now Ephesus had the added advantage of being the meeting point of 3 important trading routes. It was granted self-governing status by the Romans, so it had its own law courts, as well as a busy marketplace, a theatre and an impressive stadium where you could fit about 25,000 people. Although it was a place where the Roman emperors were worshipped, the main attraction was the worship of the ancient goddess Artemis, also known as Diana. Her temple was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was rebuilt at least once after a fire, and it covered an area as wide but slightly longer than Wembley football pitch. According to the Roman writer Pliny the Elder, it had 127 pillars of Persian marble, 36 of them overlaid with gold and jewels. So it was a truly magnificent building. The tourist trade this attracted became a lifeline to the city when deforestation upstream caused the harbour to silt up and hampered their international trade. Thankfully, the city could fall back on the huge marketplace which had emerged for idols to the fertility goddess. So when the Apostle Paul preached his gospel in Ephesus, causing many to destroy those idols, this threw the livelihood of the city's craftsmen into peril, causing the riot that we read about in the book of Acts. The gospel of Jesus Christ probably came to Ephesus through Aquila and Priscilla in about AD 52, after Paul left them there on his way to Corinth. Paul returned on his next journey and stayed in Ephesus for more than 2 years. And Luke tells us in the book of Acts that all the residents of Asia heard the word of the Lord, both Jews and Greeks. Later he sent Timothy to minister in Ephesus, and eventually the Apostle John took up residency there for many years until his exile to the island of Patmos, where he received the revelation.